Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check today's video out and spend some time with me. And guys, today I want to have a little conversation while the Bassmaster Classic is going on, because I know a lot of you guys are refusing to watch the Bassmaster Classic, and I know you're pissed about what's going on with the whole sport. And I just want to have just a one-on-one conversation with you guys, just like if we were hanging out in the tackle room here together talking about what's going on with this. You know, we've talked about it a lot, but I want to go over the reason why so many people are mad and angry at Bassmaster, and, you know, just really get into that today, because I think it's going to be sort of therapeutic for all of us that are really frustrated about that. Also, guys, before we get started, one quick thing. I just wanted to remind y'all about my Vexus 1980 aluminum bass boat right here. Guys, this thing, you've heard me talking about it. I love this boat, man. I absolutely love it. I was at Stockton Lake last week, and I had an on-the-water lesson, and it was one of those days where the wind was gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour, like almost to 40. And Stockton is known as a rough, you know, pretty bouncy lake. So anyway, we launched on one end of the lake, and the fish weren't biting very good, so I wanted to run to the other end of the lake, but that's 20 miles down there in a 35, 40 mile an hour wind. Guys, this Vexus did awesome in that. It's just like you didn't even know you're in an aluminum bass boat. It's the smoothest riding. It's as smooth as any fiberglass boat I had. I absolutely love the thing. And guys, I just want to tell you that we're going to have this boat, my exact boat, for sale at Branson West Marine come up this June. It's going to be for sale. So anyone interested in it, just give Branson West Marine a call down there. Tell them you saw it on my video. And whoever buys that boat, I'll take you guys out personally on Table Rock Lake in it and show you guys how to run it. And wanted to run that by you guys, so appreciate that. Okay, guys, let's have a talk just like you were in the tackle room with me here. I know everybody's pissed about this. There's a handful of people that aren't. I mean, there's 20% of the people out there that are in denial of reality about this whole forward-facing sonar. But if you're like me, I haven't watched any of the Classic this year. The only thing that I've seen about it is like the clips that come up on my Facebook page, or clips that my subscribers have sent me. But I refuse to watch it. I am not going to support any organization that uses the cheater box and diminishes the sport as a result of it. And of course, everything that I've seen, the clips that I have seen through Facebook, same deal. Dudes staring down at their screen, just twitching the bait like that. There he is, without even taking their head off the screen. I mean, people are pissed about that. They do not want to see it. That's why the attendance is down big time at the Classic this year, despite the fact that the Classic is in the heart of bass fishing. You're in Fort Worth, Texas, surrounded by tons of lakes. How can you not be in a more bass fishing friendly environment for fans and then have this suck attendance? It's because people do not want to see it. And they're not, and I'm not taking anything away from the young anglers, guys. I'm not bashing the young anglers, not saying a word about them. I love young bass anglers. I got a lot of them that follow my channel. I was a young bass angler. They have all the guys that you see, all the young dudes in this Classic that you see staring down at that screen. They have been forced to do that by Bassmaster. No, that's what they have to do to compete. So I understand that, and I'm not faulting that. And I feel sorry for them having to begin their bass fishing career using artificial technology that is cheating. It is. I'm just going to say right off the bat, whoever wins this Classic or any other tournament, not the Classic, I don't care if it's a club tournament, it's an illegitimate win in the terms of fair chase. And I don't consider it a legitimate tournament win. There needs to be an asterisk next to it. Whether you win your club tournament or the Classic, it doesn't make any difference, because when you have a piece of technology that you turn on and it tells you where to cast, it tells you where the fish are at, it tells you how the bass are reacting to your lure that you never would have known in a million years. Every bass that those cheater box users have been catching at the Classic, they wouldn't have known where one single bass was without that technology. And that's not bass fishing. That's not what bass fishing, especially on the tournament tour level, is supposed to be. Tournament bass anglers at the Bassmaster Elite Series level and the upper level are supposed to be the best bass anglers in the world. that can excel in the tough conditions without the aid of artificial technology. And we've lost that. And that's why it all goes back to the lack of enthusiasm and the fact that people are not interested in watching somebody that has not earned the right to be in that particular venue. Because when you have risen to the upper levels of tournament fishing purely through technology, without any type of experience or dirt time or decades of honing your art form of bass fishing, that cheapens it. It absolutely cheapens it. And that is why throughout my entire career, every Bassmaster Classic that I've ever fished in or been in, everybody was a household name that made it, because you had to go through the schooling that it took to be able to compete at the top level. Now, once in a while, there would be a freak of nature. Like Kevin Van Dam was a freak of nature. He came out right out of the gate and started dominating. There were a few other younger guys that did the same thing, but not to the level of Kevin. But basically, that was a rarity that never happened. Most of the classic qualifiers every year were veteran pros that it took them decades to hone their craft. And now, just like what everyone said, the great comment this morning, the guy said he was at the outdoor expo, and he said that all the big names are working booths at the expo, and everybody in the classic, nobody's ever heard of them, and that's a result of forward-facing sonar. So I know how pissed off you guys are. I understand how frustrated, and I understand how people that have supported bass forever, like myself, I've been a lifetime member of Bassmaster since the 1970s, and to see what has happened to the organization and everybody else that has canceled their memberships and not renewed their memberships, and there's been thousands of them, guys, because I've gotten thousands of people telling me that they have. It's all because of forward-facing sonar. Do you realize that? It's like all the thousands and thousands and thousands of bass anglers that have canceled their Bassmaster memberships are because of forward-facing sonar and nothing else. That is why they're doing it. So it doesn't take a freaking Einstein to connect the dots and say, hey, maybe we should get rid of this forward-facing sonar, because everybody's pissed off about it. It's like 20% of the people think it's the greatest thing in the world, and they're connected, by an umbilical cord to that technology for their success. And then 80% of the people hate it and can't stand it. And I understand why there's 20% of the bass anglers out there that defend it tooth and nail to the death, because they realize if Bassmaster sets a rule and says forward-facing sonar will be illegal starting in 2026, that their careers are done. They're not done. They're going to have to start from scratch again and learn how to bass fish. And that would be terrifying to anybody that has relied on a crutch like forward-facing sonar for their success. So the main thing, guys, is if you're one of those bass anglers that are pissed off right now about the Bassmaster Classic not being what it used to be, and how it's been diminished and how it's been degraded and how it's been insulted by forward-facing sonar, you're not alone. There's hundreds of thousands of us that are just like this, probably millions of us that are like the same way. Most people that don't even bass fish, when you explain to them what forward-facing sonar is, they say, well, that's cheating. That's not fishing. That's not what fishing is. They get it. They don't have to be a bass fisherman to get it. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. And like I said, if you're like me, spend some time this afternoon, working on your lawn or whatever, or do something else, but don't support any organization, not just Bassmaster, but any organization that perpetuates the destruction of our sport and the sustainability of our sport by allowing this technology to invade and encroach in our fishing. So anyway, guys, hope you're well. We'll talk later.